go to court, lawyers. Once you go to court, money. How do we make this a day-to-day lived reality? And also making it a simplified phenomenon. Especially towards the adolescents in Luwero, in Luka, in Bujiri, Buyende, those of us who are simply there. Not the English speakers, those ones. Thank you. Koja Stanley, where are you?
Yes, thank you so much, Reverend. I think we shall have all the questions at once, then her worship will have to respond to them. Yes, anyone else?
Okay, thank you so much for the presentation made to us. By the names, I'm Nasrim Slivia Kisa, 8th Advocate of Namtumba and Bujiri District. Madam, my question is about the Children's Act. How do we make it known to our people? Because I've just come to know about it today. I didn't know they have an act, meaning our people outside there need to know about it. Then the question is, how are we going to make it known to all the children and the people who are keeping them? Another question is about us participating in the court users committee. How can I approach the court? Because to us as young people, we really fear entering there. Can we be given, should I say, permission that we can enter even if we are not, when we are not restricted? Thank you so much.
Okay, we have some more, two or three questions. Anyone else?
Thank you so much, Your Worship. I would wish to ask you to tell us, since you began your legal journey, how many clients, especially adolescents with
Hold
disability.
On a bit. I didn't get your name.
My name is Aina Tony. I work with and for the National Union of Disabled Persons of Uganda as program officer. My question is, how many adolescents with disabilities have you ever supported in the court to access justice ever since you began your career as a legal person? And then the second one, what lessons have you ever learned when handling cases of a client with the disabilities in the access to justice? And the final one, how easily accessible is a legal justice to persons with a disability, aware of the fact that disability is not uniform, they are of different types, and all of them pose different challenges when it comes to access to justice. I beg to submit. Thank you.
Thank you so much for your questions. Anyone else? I'm seeing a hand here. I think after him, we shall have one more question for the interest of time.
Good morning. My name is Robert Twaswa. I work with Youth Corporation for Ideas in the capacity of Program Coordinator. Chief Magistrate, I want to ask you, despite Uganda being a signatory to the principal international instruments relating to juvenile justice administration, the juvenile justice sector remains a weak area with little or no priority from within the judicial system. What's your take on this, and to what extent is this right, if at all it's right? 2, how does the juvenile court process a typical delinquency case? Thank you so much.
I didn't get the last question.
How does the juvenile court process a typical delinquency case? I want some knowledge about
time.
The typical delinquency case.
A typical?
Typical delinquency case. These are judicial terms.
No, that's not judicial. I'm a bit lost. Just kindly a bit.
Okay, how does the juvenile court process typical cases for these young people? in court. Thank you.
Okay. I'll give a chance to these two young people because the day is for the young people and I really want to know what they think about this.
Thank you so much. My name is Makul Isaac from AHF Uganda Cares, a youth leader. Now, my question is, Your Worship, is how would you find a solution for people who are living with HIV and they ask for jobs in maybe certain organizations or restaurants or anywhere, but they are denied because of their HIV statuses? How can we overcome that challenge? Thank you very much.
Okay, I saw a hand behind here and I will give you an opportunity to ask your question to Her Worship.
Thank you, Chief Magistrate. I'm Kaboka Ronnie Case, youth leader from Ghetto. People who use drugs. I have an organization called Change Starts With Me, and we use drama to survive. My question is, we are living in a community where we have two kind of communities. We have first class, have second class, and have slum people. So you empower these children or these young people from homes, but they are we who are homeless. And we are ready to destroy these ones whom you've empowered. Are you really thinking about us, unless of leaving us to be like criminals and calling us criminals? The police just come and visit our ghettos and take our fellow youths. And even now, my mother is imprisoned for 4 years. In prison, she's in Luzila because of our land problems from home. I myself am done taking of my sisters and my brothers. I cannot get my mother outside of the prison, and even my organization cannot stand. I cannot feed these people. I ever used drugs, I ever used marijuana, I ever used bukola, but I found myself that I'm the living example that I should say no, and I change others. You people in the law, how are you planning to be merciful to us instead of putting us in prison and we lose dreams? We are also human beings, and it is not our mistake that we are born from families when they cannot take care of us. Another thing, we have young mothers in the ghetto. Even they give birth from trenches, mumiala, and sexual business is a way to go to survive. So you find a mother is just waiting for her daughter to have some big bums, and they sell alcohol. So how are you planning to also think about those people, about us? I thank Mr. Stanley gave me a platform to come here, and tomorrow we are going to perform for you a drama that's concerning that. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you so much, young people. Thank you, everyone. I also have a question, Your Worship. My question is, how do we integrate these legal systems into the young people spaces, especially now, like the way we see, most young people are really green about most of the litigation processes. I don't know if we know about litigation, should try to enlighten that. And also, how do we really put these systems for our young people, especially leaders in their communities, to really integrate this so that they know where to go in case they are having issues concerning the judicial system. Thank you. Over to you, please.
Thank you so much. I can see I had a very attentive audience. Thank you so much for all your questions. Some of them are not legal or justice related, but I will try as much as possible to answer them. I will begin with Reverend Nathan. He asked, how should we pattern with you? I don't know whether with you it is with me or the system. So we have a mandate. One of our, in judiciary, one of our vision is to give, no, not one of our vision. Our vision is to provide justice to all. And I do not think that meant that justice to the adults. But I would imagine that even justice to the adolescents, the illiterates, the homeless, the poor, those who are planned, the unplanned, everyone is encompassed in that vision. I have seen on our agenda that tomorrow you'll be having my boss. That is one of the best area. The Chief Registrar is coming to speak tomorrow, Reverend Nathan. That is an entry point for you. I know that the Office of the Principal Judge is also very passionate in this area. You can seek out the Principal Judge. Why is it important to speak to these two heads? It is because they can roll out what you have decided to the people that they supervise. The Principal Judge has the ability to roll out any action point to all the judges in this country. The Chief Registrar has the ability to roll out what you have discussed to the Chief Magistrates in this country and all the magistrates. We also do have what we call the Judicial Officers Association, where all judicial officers come together. That is also an area, a place you can go to. It is being led by Justice Olive Kazare. She's very passionate about adolescents. That is an area you can go to. You can also use as an entry point. We also do have the International Association of Women Judges, where I'm a member, and I'm a program coordinator on areas to do with sexual offenses. That is also an area that, an entry point for you. So we have different structures that you can approach. I could maybe further give you the contacts of the people, and also I'm willing to make an introduction for you. About the best practices, about the final questions, the secondary trauma, or telling the story many, many times, I remember we have been doing a program on giving priority to sexual offenses in this country, and it has been running, I think, for the last 10 years. I was amongst the people that was given a chance to draft out the 50 best practices from that program, where we were looking at how to support and document the offenders, the victims and survivors, but also the offenders, where we have with the law. Those 50 practices are out. They are before the Principal Judge, and we now it's now an empty office. There's an acting person. I know they are going to appoint a substantive soon, but it's something you can pick up and make sure that these 50 best practices are rolled out, but also that they are widely shared amongst all of us, because we just have a working document and it hasn't moved yet. Yes. However, I can tell you that there is a lot of activism that is happening in the judiciary right now. We have what we call gender-responsive adjudication, where I will not allow you, a victim, to tell me the story again in court. I can use all the other evidence that is before me, but it's because I'm an activist. Every officer is an activist. That's why we need the best practices, and probably the practices need to be turned into law so that you don't have a way around them, but to implement them. Thank you. You were also talking about how adolescents should be partners but not bystanders. Yes. The judiciary has totally transformed. We are now thinking of being people-centered. We are moving to that direction. I joined the judiciary about 13 years ago, where I think the transformation was taking place. But before that, I believe the Baganda have what they call omulamuzi. You couldn't even approach. We couldn't even come to such places to interact with other people because of decorum,